film Us is the second film directed by Jordan Peele in the horror genre. His first film, Get Out, focusing on racism in white America. Us subtly hints at the same ideological themes, while being a more intricate and sophisticated take on modern society. Us focuses on a black family in modern America. We're led to believe that the family is fairly comfortable and enjoys a standard American life. This is important when examining the main theme of this film. As the narrative continues, we are introduced to the tethered, government-created clones that live underground the normal world. These clones mimic every action happening in the real world, but do not seem to have the same psychological development or cognitive ability, most likely due to their lack of education. The film opens with a young Adelaide and her mother and father at Santa Cruz Beach. It's clear from the music and the cinematography that something terrible is going to happen to her. The shot centers the man with the Jeremiah 11:11 sign, showing that he is extremely important. The shot follows him from young Adelaide's perspective, giving him a sense of power as a result of the camera angle being upward. Peele also incorporates dramatic irony with the exit sign, signifying the gateway between the tethered and reality. The shot then tracks Adelaide from the front as she passes the man, signifying her resignation to what is about to happen to her. We're also introduced to one of the main themes of the film, coincidence. We see the man with the biblical verse along with the Hands Across America t-shirt, which becomes an extremely intelligent integration by Peele in the final parts of the film. Adelaide finds herself lost and away from her parents. She sees a hall of mirrors on the beach and is drawn to it, the reflections inside representing the tethered that are below. This hall of mirrors acts as one of the gateways to the underground facility that houses the tethered. Adelaide encounters her tethered self before the scene cuts and we return to the modern day. Peele incorporates pathetic fallacy along with the theme of coincidence by having lightning and rain strike as soon as Adelaide enters the Hall of Mirrors, the outside weather representative of the trauma she is about to experience. We are told later that Adelaide we know is actually the tethered Adelaide, and that day in the Hall of Mirrors, the tethered Adelaide captures and switches positions with the real girl, meaning that the mother of the family is actually one of the tethered. Peele takes this and uses it against the audience, the characters that the film tells us to hate inadvertently, through society telling us to hate the people killing the nice family, are actually identical to us, with the mother that we support and connect with most being one of the tethered.
We made it!
Us takes this element of modern American society and amplifies it. Most Americans understand what race discrimination is and how damaging it can be. But in Us, Peele shows the damage in a literal physical attack. The actual plot does not include details about actual racial discrimination, with the tethered being identical to the main family who are African American. However, the tethered are supposed to represent how modern society has treated people of color. Initial support, but once the benefits of this support run out, completely neglected. Peele wants to draw a comparison to the tethered and the discriminated of America, because while they are portrayed in a negative light, it is hard to disagree with them. Peele knows this, with the final point of the film asking the audience the real question that this film represents. Is there a difference? This scene uses a combination of diegetic and non-diegetic sound, along with asynchronous sound in a very subtle way. We see the best instance of this in the early parts of the scene. The shot begins with a medium shot of the father. The shot has a shallow depth and focuses solely on the father. The purpose of this shot is to convey the sense of despair the audience is meant to feel for the family. Whilst the tethered are explaining their stories, the father answers,
We don't have anything here.
clearly showing that he has little actual understanding of what is happening. It is important that the shot has a shallow focus because the audience needs to see a contrast in what the tethered are portrayed as and what the family are portrayed as. The tethered are being negatively portrayed, with the voice of the tethered mother being harsh and uncomfortable to listen to.
The two were connected, tethered together.
We also see the use of diegetic sound in this scene. Its first use is the fireplace. The fireplace rests in the background of the shot, with the tethered boy sitting at the feet of his mother, who is sat in a chair. The fireplace is in the left third of the shot, with the boy and the mother perfectly centralized.
A shadow.
This conveys to the audience the power that Adelaide has in this scene. By symmetrically centering herself, it subconsciously shows that she is in control, including the fact that the seat she is sitting in resembles a throne. The color of it is red and she is sitting in a royal manner, all showing the audience that the world has changed and the tethered are in control. As the fireplace is crackling, we understand that the audience and the characters can feel it. However, Peele uses asynchronous sound to cut in the child breathing.
She named him Pluto. He was born to love fire! So you see, the shadow hated the girl.
A more technical term may be a low growl. It creates an effect that combines the two sounds to create a menacing growl. It also connects the child to the fire in the audience's eyes, something related to danger and also warmth in a primal setting. This is also a use of foreshadowing by Peele, representing the boy using his body movements to control his tethered self, walking him into a fire to kill him. The film ends with each of the family members killing their tethered self. We're shown shots of the tethered holding hands in the Hands Across America fashion as seen on the t-shirt worn by young Adelaide as she is taken. This gives an explanation to the fixation on the Hands Across America sign, as it was Adelaide's only attachment to the real world when she was taken. Peele ends the film with the family driving safely away from Santa Cruz, representing that they have escaped the danger of the tethered. However, we see a look between Adelaide and her son. It's clear that both recognize that he knows the truth, and Peele uses this to conclude with the audience. The son and the mother understand that she is not the real Adelaide, but it doesn't matter. We see the two staring at each other. Adelaide smiles and looks away, showing the audience that it doesn't matter if she was once the tethered Adelaide. Peele is showing us that we are created the same and that it's society that pits us against each other. The tethered and the human are the same. It's likely that Peele is drawing a comparison to white Americans and American people of color, created the same, but segregated by society. Modern America is represented by the boy, slowly pulling the mask back over his face as he looks to his mother. He understands and accepts that they're the same. Yet, he shields his face anyways. By shielding his face, Peele exposes the irrationality of continued discrimination, asking the audience, when will we take off the mask?